and we're visiting here with Branch Davidian Sheila Martin. Sheila, thank you so much for coming on. First off, I want to give you the opportunity to say whatever you want to say about on this special day here. This is what, 17 years from the day that Mount Carmel went up in smoke, and tell us about your whole...
Well, I think when we see the children that did survive and see that they are now in their 20s and 30s, and you realize that all the others that were that age 17 years ago, those were, or would be, young men, women, lives that they would have had some kind of schooling and jobs and getting things together and having a life like we have. We've had a chance to buy homes and buy cars and go to stores and do things, and thankful for what God has given us, but still our hearts always want to think that somebody is beside us, the child that you bore or the husband that you married. You want them to be a part of this whole experience. You're thankful for all the things that people have done for you, but there's that part of you that knows that those who died way back in 1993, on April 19th, they didn't have a chance. They suffocated. Those first few days, I felt the fire on my back, because as they turned away from the fire, as they were breathing in it, I felt my lungs, you know, just filling with this. I felt so close to them being in that building and all that consumption or whatever. And even though each year you're thankful for what God has done, is that part of you that is so painful for what has happened. And you're reminded every year, even more so, just listening to the names.
Yeah.
And you see the faces, and you get to see on the other faces of other people, they have a joy, and they're happy to see you, and you're happy to see them, but you know you're there because someone has died.
Tell us about your book here. It's When They Were Mine.
Yes.
Memoirs of a Branch Davidian wife and mother, Sheila Martin. Tell us about this. Well,
many years ago we were approached by a lady from Louisiana, a professor there, and people from Baylor. This all came together, and they said, well, do you think you'd like to? And you're thinking, well, we're hoping soon God is coming, and the book doesn't have to be done because it's painful, and you don't want to remember all those things. Thankfully, as time goes on and you're able to deal with what has happened, then you can listen a little bit more in your heart about what has happened, who has died, the tragedy, and you can bear the fact that they're not with you. But I found that as I was reading and writing the things and going over things, I was reliving everything. You can remember that first day when you sensed that they were gone, they weren't coming back. There was no Mount Carmel to go back to. There was nobody calling you on the phone. They were not alive anymore. And you found yourself wondering how you're going to live, how you're going to deal with it. But because God was always been there for you, you say, well, I can get through it. But thankfully years has passed that you can get through this. And as we were getting through the different things with the book, we knew that we went from the very beginning to the times when we had the husband and the children, and then into the life at Mount Carmel, and then you experience the fire and all these different things, and then there's just that hope that you are going to be able to go on each day and keep, you know, trusting God, and hopefully we'll see them all again. But that's what the book is all about, the whole situation from how I first met the Seventh-day Adventists and Davidians, David, and all these different things, and this is what this book is about. And it has pictures also in the middle, pictures that I've drawn about the people and this different experiences. I wanted to remember them, some of the things and some of the people and some of the situations I had experienced while it was during the siege. And so I thought the best thing was to just draw some things. And I'd get up in the middle of the night. Sometimes I was drawing things and I'm going, how am I drawing these scenes that have been so painful to me? And I'm able to actually do it without breaking down. And some of it was just overwhelming. And yet at the same time, it was God helping me to do these things.
Yeah, tell us about one Mr. Wayne Martin.
Well, first of all, most people remember him as being a lawyer from Harvard. He did so many things for David, for different people in Mount Carmel, for whatever they needed some kind of a counsel for. We took people up to Dallas even to help them with their visas and getting back and forth in the country. There was all kind of ways that he was able to use the expertise that he had for all the years, from being in Harvard and from the time we went to North Carolina, coming to Texas, going to the bar and getting, passing the bar exam. He was a guy who didn't want this at first. He wanted me, but not this truth. But as time went on and he met David, and he saw David as being a person who was not overbearing, who was willing to listen, it made him think, well, maybe I can listen to this guy a little bit more. Maybe I can read the Bible and listen to him and see where the two things work. Not just listen to him and not have any other situation to fall back on. And little by little, he was willing to come here. In Texas in '85, we moved here. And he just grew. I saw him grow. And it was like David said, this is his turn now to have the experience. I had known these people and about these people here in Waco for 20 or more years. So it was his turn. It was great to see him want. And mostly the thing I remember is when I came out of Mount Carmel on the day they brought us downtown to Waco to the police station, I spoke to the agent, asked him could I speak to Wayne. He said yes. They got him on the phone. I said, hi Wayne, how are you? The kids are fine. And he said, let me speak to that agent, let him know that I am important, in my heart, need this agent to know the most important thing he could ever have is a new relationship with Christ. He needed to know that the Bible was important. And I've kept that. I've kept that with me so that my heart is heavy, but I remember my husband as being a person who loved the Lord and loved the Word and wanted other people to know. And I'm not afraid of life. I think because of that little 5 minutes that I sat and watched him, I knew my husband would be fine. When I knew he was with God and he was going to trust God for everything.
Well, I wish you the best success with it.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it very much.
Thank you. Right here, folks.
Thank you very much.
Sheila Martin. Memoirs of a Branch Davidian wife and mother.